All right. Take a look. Take a look. Tom Nash, the big fucking fraud. And I want to remind everyone out there, the YouTube audience is the dumbest audience in the world. Chances are, if you're on ScamTube, can we call it JTube? JTube? Can we call it that? Can we call it that? If you're on ScamTube and you're watching content, there's a 99.99% chance that you're a fucking idiot. A fucking idiot. Okay? Legitimate people aren't on ScamTube. Scammers are. Losers are. E-beggars are. And they're fucking you. They're swindling you. They're there on ScamTube because there's a huge demand for scammers. Because the lazy, broke, stupid people out there, 99.99% of the YouTube audience, they welcome scammers. They welcome the lines, the narratives that the scammers preach them. And there ain't no fucking experts on YouTube. You can goddamn take that to the fucking bank. You got it? If you're a top guy, if you're a professional person, that you're doing like real business, legitimate business, you're not on YouTube. It doesn't work that way. You got it? Serious people aren't on YouTube. People who want to swindle you are on YouTube. They claim that they're legitimate. And they want to tell you that they're analysts or they're hedge fund managers. And they're not. They're fucking lying. AKA Plain Bagel, Richard Coffin. He's not an analyst. He's calling himself an analyst. He's breaking the rules, the guidelines of the CFA Institute. You're not permitted to call yourself an analyst. And he should be reported. Not only that, the firm that he's working for, I want that firm to know. The bagel firm. You know, he's the Plain Bagel, so I guess he works for the bagel firm. That fucking firm he works for, we're going to get into the Plain Bagel boy here shortly. Maybe not so shortly. Obviously, that firm is employing a fucking grifter, a scammer, who's misrepresenting who the fuck he is. Take that to the fucking bank. You contact these motherfuckers. You call them, you call the firm up. You tell them what the fuck I said. Boom, motherfucking boom. Let's go, bitches. What you gonna fucking do? You're gonna do nothing. Now you see here, this sleazy fucking loser. You see this guy, one of the scam ads. Free training. Right? Improve your credit. You're seeing one example of the scam ads running on Tom Nash's channel. Folks, let me just say something. If you believe anything, you trust anything, if you even listen to anything a person has to say who won't tell you who they are, their name, they're going by a fake name. You have mental fucking disease. You've got rocks in your fucking head. Tom Nash ain't his fucking name. And you all should know by now he was hiding out from day one with the fake name because he knew he was going to go on YouTube and scam people. He had a plan. Okay. There's many people who do that. In fact, I was actually, I was reminded recently about a scammer that I knew was a scammer from day one some 12 years ago that a lot of people know about. Harold Balder. I'll expose this fucking fraud in the future. Harold Balder, I knew was a scam 12 fucking years ago. Uses a fake name. He's one of these donation scammers. Okay? And it's sad to see how anybody can't realize the guy's a slimy, misogynistic fucking scumbag, disrespectful piece of shit scammer from day one. because you got a lot of beta simp bitch boys in the world. He seems like he's real. He's raw. Yeah. And this Harold Balder and this Baldwin bankrupt, they're related, by the way. Even though Harold Balder wants to come across like he's a white nationalist. No, you're not white, bitch. I can see it in your face. And you're a scammer. So I probably know who you are. Right? And the Baldwin bankrupt guy, you can look into these fucking frauds. These are, by the way, they're connected to Andrew Henderson, George Gammon, these nomad guys. They travel around. And the Baldwin bankrupt, by the way, and the Baldwin bankrupt and the Harold Balder, they pretend like they're travelers. Folks, they're getting money from your fucking dumbasses. And they're pretending like they're giving it away. They're not. And their shit is staged. Their whole deal is they're pickup artists. And by the way, when these guys call themselves a pickup artist, it means they can't get fucking girls. Okay? If anybody knows what a fucking pickup artist, it's me. A real fucking pickup artist who doesn't try to sell people my knowledge. I was picking up hot fucking bitches, hot models for a long time. I've got the fucking game. I know how to do it. And I got the looks too. I've got the charisma. I got it all. Okay? Anybody, you all know this whole pickup artist. A lot of these pickup artist swindlers, they target these weak bitches who are on YouTube. And it's funny because a lot of them are into this whole digital nomad swindle, like Johnny FD. Right? Many others. Anyway, I don't know how that came up. I'll address that more in the future. But you got to understand, folks, it's one huge fucking circle jerk. These motherfuckers are all connected. I have a full set of hair. What are you fucking talking about, boy? I got more hair probably than you. Fuck. I'm the fucking hair man. I was selected from a picture that a friend sent to Hollywood, and they gave me a fucking role in a movie from my fucking delicious face. By the way, I was the face guy of the whole movie. Yeah, that's right. Fact. True story. Okay? It's not easy. I'm sorry. It's not difficult to be the face guy in these movies because you know who's in the movies. The Klan, who's not exactly fucking attractive. I have a full head of hair. What are you fucking talking about? I'm dating fucking hot young models. What are you talking about? Well, if you're bald, just go to fucking Asia. That's why you see so many bald fucking losers in Asia. You see? Because that's where you go. If you're a bald white dude, just go to Asia. Don't even get me started with the whole bald thing. I'm not going to get into that. But, our friends in the movie entertainment pop culture complex that run all that shit, they took over they infiltrated, Walt Disney and all that stuff and took over and just made it a complete degenerate fucking horse shit show. They, of course, glamorized this baldness, just much like they have glamorized who the heroes are in Hollywood. You understand? It's cool to be bald, just like it's cool to have tattoos all over your fucking body. Yeah, okay. I prefer not to be bald. Anyway, let's get into this here. I'm not going to watch this scam ad. Look at Tom Nash. By the way, let's take a look at this video.
Forget
here.
spending 8 hours.
Jesus fucking Christ. Passive day trading strategy. You see that? Passive day trading. I mean, this seems like is an oxymoron. I mean, I don't understand. Look at this. Look at the scam ads that are playing on Tom Nash's. You think he cares? Tom Nash will eat his mother out for a fucking penny. When you're dealing with the money worshiper, they don't care what the fuck happens to anybody. They don't care they don't give a shit. They want the money.
The
These are
tariff
very
extravaganza of
evil,
April
demonic, satanic creatures. Money worshippers, that is.
2nd, also known as the...
Now let's take a look. Look at. Did you notice that? You see that? I mentioned this the other day, by the way. You see this little pose here? Whenever someone holds their hand this way, okay, write it the fuck down. They're a con artist. Write it down. I said so. It's probably right. This is a little con artist tactic. You got it? Putting the hands together. Oh, I learned how to do this from the speaking. I'm talking about people who enroll in speaking courses for the purpose of conning people, swindling people, trying to... It's a very pretentious thing to do. It shows you what you're dealing with. Oh, Mr. Zelensky here is not wearing his University of Michigan shirt. Doesn't it look like Zelensky's brother? Right? He's got the monitors in the background. Let me remind everybody, Tom Nash is a fucking fraud. Not only does he use a fake name, he used fake credentials. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's one of these guys, most of them on ScamTube, they pitch to you their discounted cash flow spreadsheet. Okay? That's a fraud. That's a scam. First of all, they don't know how to use it. And if they really knew how to use it, you can't use it in isolation. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. It only works for, like, rental fucking properties. Okay? That's about it. Rental fucking properties, essentially. I'm not going to get into that lecture again. I've already talked about it many times. When dealing with high-tech companies, it doesn't fucking work. If you're going to try and use it, you better use a fucking sophisticated, well-constructed financial model. Okay? But that's the whole scam. Anyway, this is a guy who doesn't know what he's talking about. He's a complete fraud. Absolute fraud. Anyone who's looked into this guy who doesn't realize he's a fraud, well, you're just a fucking dummy. You're just a fucking dummy. Okay. Let's listen to what this Zelensky guy has to say, hiding out in Australia or Israel or wherever the fuck he is.
The tariff extravaganza of April 2nd, also known as the Liberation Day, turned out to be a lot worse than everybody expected, and the market dove off a cliff. In today's video, I'm going to analyze what happened, but mainly I'll tell you what happens next and how you need to set up yourself as a smart investor. Now, obviously, I didn't think Trump is going to take it this far. In fact, I thought about three options. One would be Trump absolutely backpedaling of this thing and finding a last...
Wow. This guy doesn't know what's going to happen next, and he sure as fuck doesn't know how to set up anybody as a smart investor. He's a fraud. He's a con man. Let me repeat. This guy can't analyze anything. He doesn't know what's going to happen next, and he sure as hell can't set up anyone as a smart investor. He's a fraud, a complete fraud. That's what he is. Okay? Think about it, folks. You got all these YouTube scam artists now. They're coming out now. Did they warn people about this? No, they didn't. They're coming out now in hindsight, Monday morning fucking quarterback, after watching CNBC and Bloomberg and reading some articles. Now they're going to analyze it for you. Well, guess fucking what? It doesn't help now. You understand? They're not analysts. They're scammers. They're pitching the latest fucking high-flying stock. And when those stocks collapse, you don't hear anything from them. And this is why I can tell you at some point, and I'm not going to mention what I'm thinking at all, you better believe the market's going to be fucking brutal. And it's going to wipe the fuck out of many people. And they ain't going to come back in the market ever. It will happen. It will happen. And it's not too far off. It will definitely happen. And I'm talking about a fucking devastating blowout. Like what happened in the dot-com collapse. You got a little taste of it, just a little taste in 2022. Not much. A little taste. I can guarantee you it's going to happen. You know how I know that? The same reason how I knew how Nvidia was topping out last year and started being cautious on it and warning people about it. How all the dumb fucking money is Nvidia now. So you got to be really careful. You see, the dumb money is always eventually shaken out. It's shaken out of stocks. It's shaken out of the market. Always. And until it's shaken out, there's a lot of risk and there's a lot of bullshit that can go on. But it eventually happens. And from what I've experienced, what I've seen happening in the market with all these fucking kids and idiots and thinking they can buy on the dip all the time and all this bullshit, just complete speculation, following all these fake gurus, I'm telling you right now, we're going to see a fucking colossal blowout at some point. Okay? And it's going to wipe these fuckers out. Any money that they made in the past, it's going to wipe them the fuck out. And I will guarantee you most of them will never want to invest again. Ever. That's how devastating it's going to be. You wait and see. You'll see. You mark my fucking words. If Jim Rickard says something, the opposite's going to happen. You know that, right? Don't you know the guys that have promoted their contrarian indicators? Okay? They're contrarian indicators. Jim Rickards is one of the biggest frauds out there. He's a pathological liar. But, of course, he's of the right tribe. He's related to the media mafia guys, so he gets promoted as an expert. You understand? And he's also a gold pumper, so he gets promoted in that whole scene. You see? That's why a lot of these guys, folks, once again, the scammers will do anything they can. All con artists jump aboard the bandwagon. They always see where the audience is, and they flip on a dime. Right? All of a sudden, oh, I love gold, and they'll start promoting gold. Why? So they get promoted on all these channels, right? And oh, yeah, I love gold, and I think the bankers are evil, and buy my book. You understand? That's what they do. That's what Nomi Prinz did. Complete fucking airhead fraud. That's what she is. Oh, was it Goldman Sachs? Yeah, you're in the IT department. You're a fucking idiot. You ever listen to this girl? She doesn't have a fucking clue about the capital markets. Complete fucking bonehead. I mean, she's even dumber than Patrick Boyle. And it's just sad, you know. Anyway, let's take a look. And by the way, I realized something. I'm going to show you this other guy. I don't know who Mark Haynes is, whatever. Listen, I told you guys years ago, the media is going to come out. The longer it's been since the financial crisis, they're going to keep making up people who predicted the financial crisis because people don't remember. Okay? You wait and there's more and more people coming out that you've never heard of, right? The media's lying. They're lying. Why do you think I've proven all this? Why do you think I've gone to all this effort to prove my case? Show me somebody that predicted the financial crisis. Paradigm Press is a fucking copywriting scam subsidiary. I think it's under the umbrella of Agora Financial. Okay? That's all. Listen, all the copywriting, they're all scammers. You know that, right? I mean, I hope you're not naive. Come on, dude. See, the problem is, it's gotten so bad. It used to be the mainstream media. Okay? Back when I surfaced. And it's important to hear my story. I had to turn off the AC. It's important to hear my story. To know my story, then you'll understand, number one, you'll understand why I do what I do. Why I feel the fucking rage that I feel. And then you'll understand what's happened to me and how the system works. You got to understand. And if you don't do this, I don't want you to ever fucking listen to anything I have to say. Okay? All you got to do, it's quite simple. The 2 chapters on the real estate bubble for the books that I wrote in 2006, read those. And then if you don't know exactly, if you can't put that into context, you're going to have to go back and see what anyone else had been thinking, writing, reading, whatever. Okay? Nobody had a presentation like that in the world. Yet I was banned. Why was I banned? Right? Well, I've talked about it over and over again. I'm not going to get into it here. But of course, my book covered many things that the liberal media didn't want to have covered. Like, I was writing about political correctness 20 years ago. Okay? I was writing about many of these social things, not to mention the trade issue. And even today, you've got everybody and their mother, and you all know I'm not a Trump supporter. Trump's a con man. But, you know, like every con man, a good con man, a lot of what they say is going to be true. And Trump is exactly right about trade. Okay? He's right about trade. We've been getting ripped off for a long time by the world. Yet, America now is the demon. We're starting a trade war. No, it's not true. We're fighting back finally. Now, you know, the reason Trump's objectives, I'm not going to get into that. I don't trust the guy. He's a fraud and a con man. Okay? And he's got a bunch of crackpots working for him. But my point is that I exposed all this shit 20 fucking years ago. I'm the leading authority. I'm the leading authority when it comes to the U.S. economy and trade. You're listening to him right now. I wrote in detail about China, NAFTA, the trade policies, and how China specifically was destroying. And this was only a few years after China joined the World Trade Organization, but I saw it. I saw it that early. Okay? I'm banned. And you see all these people, all these fucking shysters out there who are promoted as experts by the media. And then you wonder, and then you start to figure out, wait a second, why is it that all these guys the media is promoting, they're all related? They all have names like Schiff and Stein. And then you take a look at who the people that work there, and the producers. And then you see what's going on. And then you do a little more research and understand the culture of this group and how they think, their mentality. And then you kind of think back to your years on Wall Street and venture capital and see how things work. And then you realize what's going on. You're talking about the largest wave of discrimination in the history of the world. It's been going on for centuries, essentially. And you don't hear about it. You're not allowed to talk about it. I was discriminated against. Yeah, I exposed the inconvenient truth, but guess what? If I were related to the media guys, I would have gotten some attention. They would have given me somewhat of a pass, somewhat of one. You know, kind of like who we're going to talk about here later, Richard Wolff, who I've exposed before. You know, the paid CCP shill, the proud Marxist, right? He doesn't really get, you know, a lot of mainstream media press these days. But guess what? He gets a lot of media attention. Kind of off the beat, you know, alternative media, so forth, which is run by the same people. Even though, think about it, I saw him on Democracy Now! And you all know who runs Democracy Now! They're all related to him. Okay? All media is run by the same group of people. That's fact. And that becomes a problem. Think about that. Media determines elections. Media determines many things. We're not just talking about the fucking media. We're talking about the pop culture, Hollywood. It's very critical. And then you look at the financial system. Okay? I didn't see none of this shit until I got banned. 20 fucking years ago. I saw none of it. I didn't know anything about this stuff, folks. But when you experience this, you experience what I've experienced, you know what the fuck's going on. Okay? And I've fucking had it. I'm fed up with this shit. people in Trump's administration, or at least the first one, they already have my book. I've told you all that. I was contacted. They used my book. They're not going to say anything to anybody because, it's the same reason why the Financial Crisis Inquiry Commission, the FCIC, the kangaroo court after the financial crisis, it was a deliberation to interview experts on why the financial crisis occurred. I was contacted. I don't know how the fuck they found out about me, because the last time I was contacted by the feds, I was a little naive. I told that story, right? I was contacted by, I'll go ahead and tell the story. I was contacted by the FDA Terrorist Division back in 2008, I believe it was. I can't recall. It's been so long. I believe it was 2008. 2008, 2009. Pretty sure it was 2008. Late 2008. Not long after I released my informal report complaint to the SEC, the Securities Exchange Commission, about Washington Mutual being taken down illegally. They weren't insolvent. You can find that report online. Just look up, Washington Mutual heist, Stathis. Just click PDF. You'll find it somewhere. It's on my site, but the site's closed down for now. I closed down the site. We close it down periodically for various reasons. We're doing that for many years. I'm not going to get into the why. But so when I was contacted, I thought, finally the feds, they found out about me. They want me to help them. Little did I realize, the financial regulators tried to intimidate me and shut me up after I filed that complaint, because they all knew I knew what the fuck's going on. Okay, and I was followed after that time by feds. Now the feds didn't know. It wasn't them. They were innocent. They're just doing what they're told, and they're just trying to it was the higher ups that made them think I might be. The banking regulators, specifically the OTS, this cocksucking ombudsman piece of shit, who's related to all these motherfuckers, by the way. When I had a talk with this guy and I told him the fucking gig was up, I knew exactly what was going on. That was it. That motherfucking piece of shit. So what they did was they implicated me as a person of interest to question regarding the white powder mailings to the Federal Reserve and to some of the banks, which is what happened after the financial crisis. That's what happened. Somebody got pissed off. I think they lost a lot of money because of the banking fraud, and they mailed out just white powder. Okay? I've told this story. I've told this story before a few times. So what happened was, it's pretty funny because what happened was, so I got this thing in my door, this card. He's like, give me a call. And I called the guy. He wanted me to come in. Sure, I drive in. And so it's funny because, I'm driving in there. I don't know what's going on. I suspect something because when I'm on the phone with him, something doesn't sound right. It's like, But so I go in and I have nothing to hide. And understand, at that time, during that time, under George Bush, they had passed all these draconian laws whereby, they defined a domestic terrorist and all this stuff. And if the government so much as thought that you were a domestic terrorist or whatever, they could arrest you and hold you, incarcerate you, without charging you indefinitely. That's right. They could arrest you. put you in jail and hold you indefinitely without charging you of any crime. And that's what, you can imagine that's what they can do to anybody that they want to shut the fuck up. You see? They don't have to charge you with the crime. Because if they charge you with the crime and you're innocent, well, you can prove your innocence and then you get out and then they can't control you anymore. This was back, when they had the Guantanamo Bay, the Iraq War, all that shit. So this was, it's a big deal because, if you got someone that knows too much, So anyway, it's funny because, so I go in there and the guy's asking me all these questions and he basically tells me why I'm there. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, and so it's funny because, so first of all, he's thinking like, okay, this guy, he says, oh, I've looked into your stuff. You're writing. You're a prolific writer, and this and that, and which of course, that doesn't make sense. If I'm going to do something, I mean, I'm not going. If someone's going to do something, do you think they're going to be a prolific writer and they're going to expose all this shit? No, they might write some things here and there on some forums or this or that, but they're essentially not going to come out in the open. They're certainly not going to say who they are. Second thing was that obviously this was about money. Supposedly, that was the motive. Right, the guy apparently, whoever did this, I guess he was pissed off because he lost a lot of money. I come to this headquarters and I'm driving an expensive car, okay. And then the third thing, the funniest thing, is because by this time I know what's going on, and I'm just kind of like, so he's asking me about my background, my education. And remember, this is for, they're trying to, they're questioning people of interest regarding the white powder mailings. You all know what white powder mailings are, right? White powder typically is, this is kind of for botulinum toxin, a poison that you put in the mail, and if you touch it, you can die, right? That's kind of, but what people will do is they'll put like white powder. So they've made that a crime, actually. So even though if you put white powder and you send it to someone, it's harmless, but they've actually made that a crime. Like you can go to jail for that, which is insanity. So anyway, it was funny because when the guys asked me about my background, aside from, finance, Wall Street investments, my education, I go, I've got a master's in biological chemistry and biophysics. And I'm laughing because, you all know the botulinum toxin it's an organism, right? You all know it's a living organism. They get in fact, it's the same organism where they get Botox. That's how Botox works, right? It's a paralysis of muscles. But anyway, so I believe anyway. I think so. I'm not positive. Haven't looked into that. But anyway, so it's funny because I'm obviously, if I have an advanced degree in that science, don't you think I could come up with another way? Like I might be able to, to concoct about anything that I want, right? So anyway, I forgot what I was even talking about. I guess some of the things that I've gone through. But anyway, getting back to this whole thing with the guys, it all started with the mainstream media, okay? They were promoting a bunch of frauds, a bunch of con artists, a bunch of broken clocks, a bunch of fucking clowns. And guess what? All of these guys were of the same ethnicity. And you take a look at their representation in the population. In the U.S., it's 2%. How is it that 2% representation in the population dominates so many things? Think about that. Because there's discrimination going on, folks. That's what's going on. So you had these guys for several years promoting Peter Schiff, complete fucking clown. Jim Rogers, complete fucking clown. Right? All these guys. Harry Dent, you name it. And they're all blood fucking brothers. Think about that for a second. And then it got to the copywriting industry, the copy editing industry. Porter Stansberry, all this shit, Alex Jones, is involved with these guys, right? But today, it's a different portal. It's social media. It's YouTube. You understand? These are the guys now who have a lot more influence. That's how bad it's gotten. That's how bad it's gotten. And they're no different. They just have a little bit of a spin on their business model. But the point is that at least I could see where maybe someone could be fooled by Peter Schiff. He's got a financial firm. You know, he's, you know, I mean, but Tom Nash, Graham Stephan, right? Meet Kevin, Jeremy LaFaber, all these guys. It's sad, and it shows what happened to the human population. People are fucking stupid. Okay? So take a look. There's a guy I forgot about. I'm gonna show you today. I think they're kind of like working. They watch each other's videos because you notice Tom Nash. One of the things he'll do to fool like really naive, brain dead people is, oh, I don't want to waste any of your time because your time is valuable. So I'm going to show you. So in other words, he always tries to show you that he's a respectful guy, he's considerate, he's honest. Oh, thanks, Tom, for being honest and not trying to pull us through your video. Tom's is a swindler. He's a scammer. He's a complete. I mean, I'm sorry, but if you don't see these people as frauds, even before I tell you, you're not at a level mentally that I think your parents would want you to be. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. So, anyway, let's take a look. Tom, as I've mentioned, Tom is all clickbait now. It's all, I mean, folks, even if you're fucking dirt dumb and can't see that he's a fraud, ask yourself this question. Would you trust a person who's constantly throwing out clickbait and shit like this? Like who, what type of, who does this? How can you take this person seriously? You're going to actually listen to what they have to say? Yeah, because you don't have a perspective and that's all that's out there for you. Guess what? You're in an open fucking landmine and you're going to get blown the fuck up. Things happen to people for reasons. You people out there on YouTube seeking out these fraudsters, you're going nowhere in life. You're going nowhere. Guaranteed. You stupid motherfuckers. You're going nowhere. Look at this. Same fucking titles. Market Apocalypse, right? Promoting Tom Lee. It's over. This is bad. This is bad. Look at 2,000% profit, 1,700%, 30x. Look at this. I mean, why would anyone trust anybody like this? This is clearly, his thumbnails and his titles clearly say they convict him as a fraud. He's not credible, just from this alone. See? And so here's another guy, by the way. Let's find him here. This guy, ticker symbol U, another fucking scam artist. Total fucking scammer. Same fucking, I think Tom Nash got the clickbait from this guy. Okay? Yeah, both these guys are Palantir pumpers. And of course, they're both late to the party. They both started pumping NVIDIA just before the stock split, right? Telling you that you would never need to work again. They're telling you you don't ever need to work again if you buy NVIDIA. Not when I told people to buy NVIDIA 16 years ago, when it was 20 cents a share, split adjusted. But they're telling you when it's $90, $95, you know, the same price that it is now. I mean, this is what I'm saying. Do yourself a big fucking favor if you're listening to this. Stay away from fucking ScamTube. They're all frauds. Just read this horse shit. And this guy, he reads from a script. Let's see here. Let's listen to what he. I've got a delay on this thing, so I can't. It's like a 30-second delay. So listen to this for a second.
An exceptionally brutal day on Wall Street.
The stock market suffering major losses on the heels of the president's tariffs.
What is setting up to be the worst day for U.S. equity markets since at least the onset of the pandemic.
Millionaires are made when the stock market crashes, and the bigger the crash, the bigger the opportunity.
Look at this stock
especially if we
video.
can be greedy.
I
When
mean,
other
if you're seeing stock video footage, that's scammy. It's scammy.
are fearful, that's the best way to get rich without getting lucky.
This fucker's still got a job. This fucker's still on CNN. This Wolf Blitz, this fucking Mossad operative.
Best way
This
to get rich
motherfucker's still
without
there.
getting
This
lucky.
guy's a Mossad
so
fucking
in this
agent,
video,
man.
I'll cover everything you need to know.
Speaking of Mossad, by the way, I want to remind everyone or draw your attention to this scam artist who I guess he doesn't want to tell you his name, but he's also related to Tom Nash. And Tom Nash is related to Graham Stephan. And Graham Stephan's related to Kevin Pathrath, Meet Kevin, who's related to Peter Schiff and all these guys. Don't you find it a little bit more than a coincidence, folks? What the fuck is going on here? Plain Bagel, related. Patrick Ball, they're all fucking related. 2%. And they're all over the place. What's going on? Think about that.
About the market crashing and which stocks could win big as a result. Your time is valuable,
See that?
so let's get right into it.
Take a look.
First things first, I'm not here to hold you hostage.
Trump's
so here's
tariffs will
everything
make
I'm going to
millionaires
talk
in
about. Why this
2025.
latest round of tariffs
So he's
caused
telling you
such
there's gonna
a
make
big market
millionaires.
crash, how far stocks
that?
could drop, and
I mean, ask yourself, I'm one of the top investment analysts in the goddamn world. I would never make this stupid fucking horseshit claim. Serious, legitimate people don't make horseshit claims. Fraudsters do. For making this claim alone, this guy's a fraud. You all understand that,
for
right?
how long, exactly how to be greedy when others are being fearful, and of course, which stocks I'm buying as prices continue to tank. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so strap in and let's talk about this market crash. Stock markets around the world are crashing as President Trump's tariffs take effect. Both the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq saw their biggest drawdowns since the pandemic after reciprocal tariffs were announced for nearly every country on the planet. The reason that markets are...
You hear that? He's reading from a teleprompter, and he's going to tell you how to be greedy when others are fearful. What a fraud. What a fraud.
crashing is these reciprocal tariff rates came in much higher than expected. For example, goods imported from China to the US now have a 34% tariff on top of the existing 20%. Imports from the EU now have 20% tariffs, and Southeast Asian countries like Vietnam.
So, folks, just keep in mind. Just keep in mind here. Were these guys coming out with videos last month, right, warning people about this? Because no, they weren't, because they don't do research. They're not analysts. They're just media guys. They're reacting to what the fuck happened and pretending that they have some insight and knowledge. They don't. They're scammers. This is the lowest level of investment information you can get. It's the worst. It's worse than CNBC. I mean, fucking frauds.
On stock prices will eventually go the other way. But how long could eventually be? And how far can stocks fall in the meantime? To answer that, let's look at some historic market data next. This is a chart from First Trust and Bloomberg showing the S&P 500's performance during every bull and bear market volatility index, which
Imagine making
Another scam ad here.
An exceptionally brutal day on Wall Street.
The stock market suffering major losses on the heels
and another 24 months to recover. And even the shortest bear market lasts months, not minutes. That means there's always plenty of time to plan, build cash, and prepare to be greedy when others what we're looking for.
Folks, this guy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. These people, they're frauds. Absolute frauds. Complete fucking, they make me so fucking sick. They don't have fucking clue what they're talking about. And the dumbasses, you dumbasses that listen to these frauds, I hope you lose everything. I hope you lose everything and do something bad to yourself. How's that?
To buy
because
low while
the
others
fewer
are panic
idiots
selling.
we have in the
One
world,
of the big
the
challenges
fewer
with tariffs
dumbasses,
is that increased prices
the
often
fewer
get passed
scammers.
on to consumers.
If you want
A
to
study from the
destroy
National Bureau of Economic
supply,
Research found that the costs of
right,
President Trump's trade
take
war
care
in
of the demand
2018
first.
were passed entirely onto importers and consumers. Rising prices means lower spending, which means lower earnings
So let's
for
listen to this
companies
horse shit
and
now.
ultimately lower stock prices. That means companies advertising or selling things directly to consumers are especially sensitive to tariffs. But that also means they have the most upside if you believe these tariffs won't stick. On the advertising side, Google is trading at a price-to-earnings ratio of 18, which is the lowest PE ratio it's
Here we
seen in
go.
2 years, and the second lowest in over 10 years. The only time Google was trading cheaper than this was at the end of 2022. And according to discounted cash flow models like Simply Wall Street's, Google is currently 43%
You hear that?
undervalued. Said another way, Google stock would have to go up 77% to hit its fair value today. That's a 77% upside. Like I said, millionaires are made when
You hear that? Discounted cash flow models. Folks, it doesn't work this way. I'm not going to tell you why. You got to prove it to me. You got to tell me what. No, I don't, you dumbass. I'm the big swinging dick. I'm the top pro. Got it? This is nonsense. It's stupid nonsense. Horseshit. Discounted cash flows. You heard that, right? You heard that. According to discounted cash flows. Somewhere he looked up something and he's telling you now. Fucking bullshit. I mean, I can't tell you what I want to do to this fucking fraud. Because ScamTube will take the video down. You can use your imagination.
when the stock market crashes, and now you can see why. On top of that, I think Google's earnings estimates tend to be on the low side. Analysts expect 10% earnings growth, but Google's earnings grew by 36% last year and 27% the year before that. Likewise, DCF models calculate the fair value for Meta platforms at a whopping 800.
Same thing. I mean, really? I mean, this is why I want the markets to blow up. I want the market to go to fucking zero. I'll take one for the fucking team. I'll take one for the fucking team. I'll agree to lose it all to save everybody. And that's how you're saved. Get rid of the fucking shit in the market. Take it all fucking down. These goddamn frauds. Jesus fucking Christ. Complete fucking horse shit. And folks, unfortunately, of course, you've got many people, even maybe older people, that are just fucking stupid. They see this nice looking thing and, oh, it seems nice and it seems reasonable. This is logical. Yeah. Think about it. If it's true, everybody's jumping all over these stocks. Obviously, there's a lot more that's going on. Okay? What a fucking fraudster. So this is the Tom Nash kind of guy. They both pump similar stocks. They're both frauds, and they're both related. Here we go. This fucking weasel. Look at this fucking weasel. And I want you guys to contact all these motherfuckers. Okay? You email them, you post comments, you contact them all. This Paul Gabriel. Okay? The guy's a total fucking scam artist. Folks, you got to understand, these people are professional talkers. Don't be fooled by their yapping. That's what they do. They talk their game. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. This is a guy who calls himself a value investor. This is a guy who's constantly preaching about Warren Buffett and all these other people. These are value investors. And he's telling you he uses Buffett's name to get attention. He uses Buffett's name and these other guys to get validity because he's a weakling. He's a nobody. The last thing you want to do is to go to somebody for investment information, insight, research, guidance, whatever, who's touting another investor. You want someone who knows what the fuck they're doing. You understand? An independent thinker who's got the results. You don't want some fucking clone. Why are you listening to Warren Buffett? What this guy says about Warren Buffett? Just go to invest in Warren Buffett's shit. If you think listening to what Warren Buffett says or does is going to make you money, just buy his fucking fund. Because I can guarantee you right now, you follow what Warren Buffett does, you're going to not do well. You ain't going to do well. Go ahead. Follow what Warren Buffett is doing. Follow what you're hearing in the media. And you ain't going to do well. Okay? Your best bet, if you believe in him, you can buy his fund. Even though he doesn't understand technology, but he's loaded up on technology. Right? That's a whole nother story. Okay? Let's listen to Paul now. So here's what he's trying to do. Now this is a guy who every day, just like all these frauds, you'll notice one thing about these frauds. They're always telling you stocks to buy. Every day they got new stocks for you. I mean, sometimes that's the main MO of these guys. There's a little twist on, some of them they're pushing certain stocks and this and that, but most of them, the strategy is to always be stocks I'm buying today. Because why? Because that brings in new subscribers and new views. Brings in new fucking sheep to slaughter. You understand? You see? So they're always talking about stocks to buy. Buying this stocks, and this Paul guy is no different. Let's take a look. Look at this. He's always buying stocks. He's buying stocks. Don't miss out every fucking day. You rarely see or hear these guys talk about selling stocks. Just like this Jeremy guy I exposed the other day. He's always telling you how he's buying stocks, buying. Right? As if the money is endless. It doesn't work that way. Every single one of these, and once again, folks, I don't have to sit here and go through point by point and show you everything why these guys are a fraud. Well, prove it to me. I'm a big swinging dick. I'm one of the top guys in the fucking world, and it's up to you to figure that out. And once you figure that out, you'll know what I'm saying is fucking true. And nobody in my shoes is ever going to come out and expose these little fucking minions. They're not going to waste their fucking time. You think about that one. Okay. Look, they're all screaming. This boring stock is screaming buy. Screaming buy. I love this stock, okay? This is what they do, right? Buy. And this is a guy who doesn't know anything about the stocks. He doesn't do any research, any fundamentals. In fact, I have a video clip of him saying he doesn't like to do research. He doesn't do research. Okay? It's all a sales game, folks. It's all sales. So think about it. Most people don't remember. This is what the internet has done. It's made people have a memory of 5 minutes. This is why they don't remember that Peter Schiff has gotten everything fucking wrong for the past 15 years. You see? So even people that follow this swindler don't remember that he's been saying the same thing, telling you to buy stocks every fucking day, right? But all of a sudden now, when the market crashes, he comes out. Oh, well, don't worry, just dollar cost average. That's basically his whole little speech, is bring out Warren Buffett, highlight, well, you're talking about Warren Buffett, it must be important, it must be valid. And this, of course, goes to what I wrote about 16 years ago in the preface of my book, The Wall Street Investment Bible, why Warren Buffett doesn't matter. And I explained why the media pumps him up. They pump Warren Buffett up. The media always wants to make a Superman. That's why I made that video that none of you motherfuckers even understood, unfortunately. When I did one of Jim Rogers and I played that Superman song, the media makes Supermen, okay, everywhere. They always make these gods so that you believe that they're amazing, whether they're a real estate legend or a stock legend, whatever. Shark Tank. Oh, they're all business. No, they're not. They're all fucking failures. Okay? They make these people into Superman. Folks, this is what our, I almost said the bad word, the 4-letter word, the 3-letter word. This is what the crew does. The media guys. They do it in the music industry as well. I call it the Britney Spears effect. Right? Now it's the Taylor Swift. Brainwash people. Make them into living legends so you'll follow anything that they say. Any interview, you line up and you want to hear because you're going to make money because that expert, they told you he's an expert. You understand? The media creates heroes so that you become a sheep. And every time they promote that hero, they make money through advertisements. You got it? That's how it works. So, I'm going to listen to this video here, but I wanted to just show you that Paul doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And he uses Warren Buffett to tell you should dollar cost average. Warren Buffett's going to tell you that this guy's a fraud. That's what he's going to tell you. And he's going to tell you you're not going to beat the S&P if you're listening to this fucking jackass. Remember, this is a guy, he's too stupid to have even removed his early videos. Where you watch these videos. Look at this. Real estate rental boy. Fucking clowns. You see that? Just like all these guys. And they finally realize, oh, let's talk about some stocks. Oh, we're getting a lot of views. And then they become instant stock experts. See that? And, of course, as I mentioned before, what these guys do is they lure in, they kind of do a Meet Kevin. You know, Meet Kevin, he got all the subscribers during the pandemic when he came out with videos every fucking day talking about stimulus check news. Just making up fake fucking news to reel in the dumb and the desperate. That's who his audience is. You all know that, right? Paul does the same thing with Mo. And they talk about, look at the video. What is an IRA? How to invest in an IRA? What is dollar cost average? You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Okay. Let's see. I don't know if this is the title, but look. Become a millionaire with a traditional IRA. Investing for beginners. Look. How to make $1 million with a Roth IRA. Look, you understand. Okay. Let's see. Dollar cost averaging. Let's see here. There you go. See that? So he's giving you like fucking romper room. You all know romper room? Romper room fucking topics. So somebody's saying, well, so what? That's good for beginners. Hey, dumbass. You don't want, number one, you don't want to follow anybody who's giving you beginner topics. Do you think a world expert, a big swinging dick, is going to talk about like little baby bullshit? No, a world expert's going to say, you know what? I don't have time to talk about generic low-level shit. If you want to listen to me, if you want to take my time, you should be wanting the high-level shit that you can't get nowhere else. I know proper English, I'm just emphasizing. You understand, right? But these guys don't have any high-level insight. They're real estate rental boys. Well, Paul's a rental boy. Mr. Hussein is a fucking day trading fucking failure. That's what he is. So my point is this. So they're luring people with these stupid little elementary school topics. Okay? Which, really, why? So what's the problem, Mike? Because this is the crowd they're collecting in their cult. Oh, I'm learning so much. I didn't know what an IRA is. Oh, you're also going to teach me to day trade. Take a look. Let's see. Learn how to day trade. Look. teaching a beginner how to day trade. I mean, what? I mean, they should be like fined by the FTC for this. So you understand what I'm talking about? What they do is they attract naive people who are fucking stupid enough to go on ScamTube for this type of content, and they think that they're learning, and all of a sudden they've lured them into dangerous horse shit, to scams like day trading. You understand? This is the disgusting thing that they do. You see? And meanwhile, they don't even know what the fuck they're doing. They don't even know any of this stuff. And it's all about getting them into their 8 pillars scam. Their little, simple little fucking 8 pillars scam. It's what it is. Little fucking net present value, little modified, basically it's like a discounted cash flow. It's a simplified version of discounted cash flow. Little calculator is what it is. Okay? It's plug and chug. All you got to do, you want this growth rate? Put this in. You want this? Remember, this is the guy, Paul, who was back a couple of years ago, 2 and 3 years ago, didn't even know Alibaba faced the risk of being delisted, didn't understand the Chinese economy was fucking collapsing. He was telling you, Alibaba, buy it, buy it, buy it. Why? Because he's a value investor and he believes the numbers because Charlie Munger believes the numbers. And Charlie Munger's a great investor. And I came out and said, Charlie Munger's a senile fucking idiot. And people criticize me. You know why? Because they're too stupid to realize I'm a big swinging dick. I'm one of the top guys in the world. But you see, they think the top guys are the guys that they hear about in the media because they're the fucking dumb money. That's why they follow Michael Burry and think Michael Burry is a genius because they saw some stupid fictional movie. You understand? People believe that people that are promoted in the media are actually legit, and they're not. Legit people aren't fucking making careers in the media, folks. Okay? And who was right? I warned everybody about Alibaba. Who was right? Okay? So who's right? Who's right? Mike Stathis 1, Charlie Munger 0. I win. Charlie's gone. You see, when you know a lot, I don't care what Warren Buffett or anybody says. I use my own fucking mind because you know what? I'm right most of the time when it comes to all these fucking pros. That's been my experience. Maybe that's why these pros pay me for my insight. So these guys are scammers. Okay, they folks, let me explain something to you right now. And their whole pitch is, of course, they tell you they're value investors, and they're the same. It's the same bullshit you're hearing from all these guys. They think that you can buy any stock at a price at what they believe is below its quote intrinsic value, and that makes it a value investment. That's a mythology. It's false. It's not true. First of all, second of all, these guys can't identify the intrinsic value of these stocks. Go through their videos and just go through and study them. You want to see the biggest fucking blow-ups? Go watch their videos. Okay? They were telling people to buy Intel at $55 all the way down, and Walgreens all the way fucking down, Alibaba all the way. And the problem is that what they do, all these guys do the same thing. They were buying the stock 3 years ago, and they're still buying it. It's on the way down, and the newbies don't know they've been recommending it for 3 fucking years. You see, that's the problem. Okay. So let's listen to this video. Look at this fucking weasel.
There's an old saying, History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And what have I told you? That some of the most prolific super investors like Warren Buffett and Mohnish Pabrai are quietly preparing for a rerun of previous times that made countless investors quit, but also made the smart money a fuckload of profit in the long run. Guys, I truly believe that the rhyming over the next 10 years is going to replicate many secular bear markets in the past. It's not going to be pleasant, and I'm going to break down the secular bear market right now. I want to take you guys back to the late 90s. It's the peak of the dot-com bubble, and everyone thinks that they're a genius. Stocks are doubling, stocks are tripling. I had a friend in college who did not go to college to go take advantage and be a broker, and he once said to me, Paul, you know how crazy it was? If we had a stock that only went up 200 or 300% that day, we were pissed. Back then also, your cab driver is giving you ticker symbols. Does that sound familiar? Now, back then, Warren Buffett, the Warren Buffett,
So, let me
IRS e-file is now open.
let me get out of these fucking ads. YouTube is getting through my ad blockers. It's fucking pissing me off. I'm gonna have to find some more ad blockers. So let me just get
my
to
ratio, we're currently at
let me get to this here. I want to show you all something. So what he's basically saying,
about the
first
entire
of all,
U.S. economy.
he's propagating this whole myth about Warren Buffett, which is what all these people do. And of course, I called out Warren Buffett before. And if you're a low-level fucking idiot, listen, I'm the big swinging dick. If you doubt anything I say, you better have good reason. You understand? I'm to be taken. Anything I say is true until proven otherwise. You got it? Because I'm a world authority. You understand? Warren Buffett, essentially, for the most part, hasn't beaten the S&P. Now, I can't speak. I haven't looked the past 2 or 3 years, but since about 2000, he hasn't. If you factor in the S&P with dividends reinvested, he hasn't beat it. Okay. In addition to that, S&P is not even a valid benchmark for Buffett, his fund. It's not even valid because he takes a lot more risk. Okay? A lot more risk. In addition to that, Buffett loaded up on high tech. He's a value investor. What's he doing? He's just, you understand. Buffett made all the money decades ago. 50s, 60s, 70s. When there was no competition, he made the money in the private markets. You understand. But he hasn't done a whole lot over the past 25 fucking years, over the past 30 years. He hasn't done a whole lot for the most part. Why? Why? Because the market changed, first of all. First of all, Buffett's a value investor. Value investing was big before 2000, before the dot-com bubble. The dot-com bubble ushered in a lot of high tech. Okay? And as I mentioned before, he made his money in private deals, sweet deals. His father was a senator, by the way. You don't think he got any insider information? Warren Buffett's been in a lot of scandals, by the way. Warren Buffett's done his fair share of cheating. So when I look at somebody, and they're supposed to be a great investor, I want to see what you've done lately. It doesn't have to be last year, 2 years ago. Let's take a look at, for Buffett, what have you done the past 20 years, Buffett? You understand? That's why he tells everybody, Buffett will say, people should just buy the S&P, because he knows he can't beat the S&P risk adjusted. Warren Buffett can't beat the S&P risk adjusted. Okay? So, my point is this. I mean, I could go through, I've got a whole collection on Warren Buffett. I mean, you can just think back to the 2020 pandemic lockdown when Warren Buffett bought 3 airline stocks. thinking it's a good deal. They're on sale when there's blood in the streets, right? Be greedy when others are fearful. You hear all these idiots. That's what Warren Buffett says, and that's what he did. He bought the airlines, and they fucking collapsed. And he had to sell them because he saw the writing on the fucking wall. But he didn't even buy one airline. You know why? Because he's fucking stupid. That's right. He's stupid. If you believe in a sector, you think there's an opportunity in a sector, why are you buying all the big names, the big three? That tells me you don't understand the fundamentals of those companies. You're just basically rolling dice. You should know if you're a big swinging dick investor, 70 years in the business, you have all types of unlimited human and financial resources to do research, including hundreds of staff. Don't you think you should identify? Okay, first you think it's a good time to buy airlines because of the pandemic shutdown and they collapse. It's going to be a good buy. Don't you think you should go through and figure out fundamentally which airline is the best to buy? No, he didn't do that. He bought all three of the big ones, which is a stupid move. And then, of course, he lost his ass. I mean, there's many things you could point to. Okay, I'm not going to get into that. But my point is this. My point is that if you want to see a clueless fucking idiot, you can always identify one when they are promoting Warren Buffett or some other investor. Do they know these investors for sure have done great? No, they're just going by what they've heard and what they've read. So, case in point, this fucking knucklehead, this clown wants to tell you how Warren Buffett did so great. He's a great investor, all the smart money, this and that. Well, not exactly. Not exactly. Okay? During that period, it wasn't a difficult call for anyone to come out and say, yeah, the market is in trouble. It's very highly valued. But Warren Buffett said that for a few years in the 90s. And he sat there and was doing miserable. Second of all, Warren Buffett doesn't really know what he's talking about with these markets. He'll be the first to tell you he can't forecast a bear market or a big sell-off in the market. Okay? But these guys want to make you think, oh, well, Warren Buffett, right? Warren Buffett, let me remind everybody, got his ass smacked in the financial crisis. He lost $30 billion. He didn't know it was coming. He got shellacked. $30 billion was a lot for his fund back then. Okay? He didn't know it was happening. So Warren Buffett's not somebody, I'm not really interested. The only interest that Warren Buffett would garner with me is that his fund is so big and he has the ability to move a stock because he can take a big position. But that doesn't always work out nicely. Should I remind everyone what happened to the Kraft-Heinz merger with the 3G Brazilian baboons, which are all related, by the way, to the guys on Wall Street? They teamed up with Warren. Who's related? They teamed up with Warren, and they bought out Heinz. They destroyed Heinz, basically. Okay? I wrote about them overpaying within days. It's on the site. They overpaid. I wrote that. Okay? Because Heinz was in the Dividend Gems portfolio. I was not going to ever touch Kraft, ever, because it was too highly indebted. Heinz was a great company, great management, great dividend, and Kraft sucked it up. And you all know the rest. You all know the story, right? Kraft-Heinz, not long after, I don't know, a year later, went from $90 and collapsed down to $40, $35. Why? Because they had a big write down. They had to write down massive billions of dollars in that deal. It was overvalued. Okay? It was overvalued. I mean, think about this, folks. I'm the only person in the world. I wrote it. It's a public article on my site. It was in my research. I came out immediately and said this deal is way too much, way overvalued. Okay, and they're still struggling with Kraft, by the way. And as you can imagine, it's a big struggle now with everything that's been going on. So he essentially destroyed that company. I could go with Occidental. I mean, there's so many, and I hope I can actually take the time, because I've got piecemeal discussions on him. I hope I can put something comprehensive together before the guy croaks, before he passes away, to show you that because folks, the media wants to tell you that there's investment supermen out there. There are none. They don't exist. It's all a sales game. Okay? There are none. It's that simple. So Paul wants to lure people in with his Warren Buffett hero story. And Warren Buffett really isn't so much of a hero from what I've seen. You know, maybe in the 50s and 60s, when his dad had insider information, you know, maybe that was a good time to invest with Warren when he had and he's also dealing with the private markets, which he still does now. Getting sweet deals nobody else gets as well, right? But surely, I mean, he's clearly in no category such as people like Jeffrey Gundlach and Peters. I mean, obviously Warren Buffett's a credible investor, but guess what? You don't see him in the media every fucking day, do you? He's not much in the media, is he? You understand? Because he's a serious investor. He's a serious investor. He's a credible investor. The guys in the media are not serious, credible investors. You understand? Name to me one person that's in the media that's a serious, credible investor. One person that's worth a damn. One person. I mean, even if you can name one, that's what? 1 out of thousands, which means nothing. There's always a chance of luck. I can't think of anyone. Nobody. But I can tell you a whole long list of guys that are promoted as experts in the fucking media and that are goddamn broken clock clowns. And guess what? They're all related. They all just coincidentally happen to be related. That's what you call blatant discrimination. And you don't hear about it. Think about that. So Paul wants to tell you how great Warren Buffett is and this and that. And ultimately, his whole speech after building up Warren Buffett, telling you Warren Buffett tells you dollar cost averaging. Okay, that's his whole pitch here.
Economy.
So basically, Paul is saying, look, don't worry about the market collapsing. I can't tell you when it's going to collapse. All you got to do is think long-term and dollar cost average. Just buy when it goes up, buy when it goes down, dollar cost average. Folks, anyone that preaches that, do you think that's a competitive advantage? It's not. He's basically saying just buy the index.
100% premium probably doesn't make much sense for an entire economy. For a couple companies here and there, absolutely. And even those companies should be smaller with lots of runway and lots of opportunities for reinvesting the money in the business. But if you're a company like Apple, who generates $100 billion a year in free cash flow, where can you invest that to really move the needle? It's very difficult. It's what Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger always warned about Berkshire. We're becoming so big that our reinvestment opportunities are becoming smaller and smaller. Shown this 1,000 times. This is the value of the S&P over a long period of time. This is how the price goes. More realistically, it goes like this, like this, like this. That's what it does. That's why we talk about dollar cost averaging. This is why valuations matter. When you start from a point of high valuation, over the next 10 years, it'll rhyme to lower returns and higher volatility. This is not doom and gloom. It's just math. It's logic. And if you understand that, you can sleep well at night knowing that the logic will make sense on both the upside and the downside. I've said it before, there'll be a time on this channel when I say companies are so fairly valued and so credible deal, people say, oh, Paul, we're not getting these huge returns that you think is going to be possible. It's like, I don't know when things are going to change. Just like I don't.
Wait a second. How do valuations matter if he's telling you to dollar cost average? He's basically saying valuations don't matter. You just dollar cost averaging. This guy's so fucking stupid. He's that stupid. He just basically, he's telling you this is why valuations matter. In reality, if you're dollar cost averaging, valuations don't fucking matter. Now, do they? You got it? But see, this is all basically a way for him to tell you all, oh, Paul, you were getting us to buy all these stocks and now it's collapsing. And he's telling you all you got to do is dollar cost average. It's okay. It's okay. Well, guess what? You know, some people, most people, if they're buying and buying and buying, they're stuck in the market at the top. They don't got any money to dollar cost average. You see? That's why market forecasting is absolutely vital. And so he's going to go on and tell you this nonsense. It's all a segue for him to sell his bullshit.
I don't know when the market's going to hit
That's
a
all
bear
it is,
market
all
or
his
crash.
videos.
And I won't know when the market will finally recover and say it's a new bull market. The market will probably not repeat itself, but it sure as heck will rhyme. Now,
this is what Ivy.
Do this 7 minutes a day until May 1st.
Look at these fucking scam ads. Jesus Christ, man.
there's an old saying, history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And what have I told you? Brings, and it's very, very process driven in there. Make sure
Look at that. No, you can't. You can get into those schools with a 3.6? No, you can't. No, you can't. Look at these scam ads. I mean, what the fuck?
you understand what you're buying, why you're buying it, and know that the market price is not determining if you're right or wrong. I'm not endorsing Tesla as a value play at all. But the stock is lower than it was in 2021, yet revenue and profit are 2 times greater. Does that make sense? Again, if they were overvalued then, they could still be overvalued now. Just because something is cheaper does not make it cheap. There is a big
So listen to
difference
this
there.
pitch.
Now, guys, if you do want to understand,
You hear that? You hear the pitch? It's about having a process. Folks, if your process is shit, it ain't going to help you. It's going to hurt you. This guy is a fraud. He's a scammer. He's selling bullshit. He's a scam artist. He's not qualified. He's a clueless idiot. He's no different than Tom Nash, except for he's not claimed false credentials. But he's, at the end of the day, he's a fake guru. He's scamming people, just like Meet Kevin, just like all these fuckers.
our 5 tenets of our principle-driven investing, do me a favor. Click the link below. Sign up for a free PDF to get emailed to you right away. It's really important to understand these 5 tenets of principle-driven investing. I truly believe in all these, and it allows you to stay calm during crazy times. It'll also encourage you to make the bets you need to make when opportunities are there, because they will be there eventually. We discussed a lot in this video. Buffett's warnings in 99. Munger's caution before he passed. Pabrai literally saying your odds of getting more than 5% are 0. The message is getting louder. And the higher stocks go and the faster they go high, the louder.
This guy is so fucking full of shit. He's a fast-talking used car salesman. Okay? That's what this guy is. He's a complete scam artist, piece of trash. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. His whole idea is to pitch. Folks, this is a guy. I've never seen anybody as bad as this guy. He will literally make a video every day and pitch these investments and move on to. It's almost like a Jim Cramer where in the investments fucking collapse, he moves on to new investments every day. He doesn't follow up. This is, folks, most of these people, they're driving their channel, bringing in new people just from the titles that they make every day. You understand? And it's the people that have been following them that have the short memory to not remember that they're full of shit. Let's read the comments here. Usually, there you go. Paul, you are a total fraud and scam artist who has no clue about investing. And you're scamming people with your ridiculous 8 pillars bullshit. Just stop this nonsense and go back to renting out daddy's apartments. Wow. That's what you call a fucking takedown. Boom, motherfucking boom. Paul, if you really believe the entire stock market is overpriced, Why would you buy anything now? Yet you buy stock all the time. There you go. That's exactly what I was saying, folks. You see that? Because Paul is just a fucking he's just a con artist. He's just there to suck people in, to suck new subscribers in to his fucking vortex of scams. Remember, this is a guy, by the way, who was charging people, I believe it was $10,000 an hour on his Patreon. $10,000 an hour, just like Kevin. I think Kevin's now at $20,000 an hour. I mean, these people should be put in jail. If I'm running the show, these guys are all going to jail for many years. You better fucking believe that. Of course the comments shadow banned. That's why I read it. Aren't you the same guy who told us to buy Nike last week? I mentioned this with this Jeremy fucking fraud. Folks, like, why would you buy Nike? Like, why would you buy Nike? They miss earnings and they collapse to 65. And the reciprocal tariffs are coming out. Like, don't you know where Nike has their fucking manufacturing? In China, in Vietnam. And as a result, it collapsed to the low 50s before rallying to like $55. Like, who would do that? Just stupid fucking people. And these stupid people are the ones with their big fucking channels selling their financial advice. So if you follow them, you don't even have rocks in your head. You've got nothing in your head. Not even rocks. Nothing. Look at this. Let's see if this is one of those. Here we go. You see this, the scam comments. Oh, what's their name? How can I get a hold of them? Right? Somebody call these fucking numbers. You all know these scams, right? Yeah, see, this is a good point. Buffett was also selling when the pandemic hit. Anyway, total fucking scam artist. See, folks, in this world, you've got two kind of people. Maybe three or four, actually, but the main two, you've got leaders and you got followers. Leaders of thought and followers. You don't ever want to follow someone who's a follower. You're not going to get anywhere in life. You follow a leader of thought, okay? And you got people who follow followers and people who follow leaders. Most people follow followers because the followers are the low-level charlatans, right? And they're the ones that are actually gearing themselves out to swindle people, you see. Leaders of thought are doing their job. They're more concerned about providing value, intellectual challenges. It's the followers out there, the guys that promote Warren Buffett and this and that. They're doing that to try and gain credibility. Oh, well, he's talking about Warren Buffett, and oh, yeah, I like that. Oh, okay, I agree with you. I'm going to invest with you. Fucking fraud, man. So let's take a look here. I saw this one. This is our friend, Carter Worth. Now, this channel, when I saw this, let's see this guy here.
Today's market call is presented by CME Group, where risk meets opportunity. And FactSet, financial data and analytics powered by tomorrow.
$11 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm Dan Nathan, joined by
Now,
Carter.
I recognize this guy with this really fucking weird, large, twisted schnauzer. He's a CNBC fucking clown. So this is probably one of these CNBC, one of these like channels where these guys off of CNBC try and make their own channel, right? So they get Carter Worth. You all remember Carter Worth, right? You all remember Carter Worth? I showed you a video the other day where Carter is telling you Macy's is going to collapse from $10, $11 to $2 or $3 because the charts tell him so. He's the chart master. I mean, look at this guy. Look at this broke dick motherfucker with his little fucking IKEA bookshelf in the background. Fucking loser. What a fucking loser, man. He reminds me of J.C. Parrots. You remember J.C. Parrots, right? J.C. Parrots. He's Josh Brown's little buddy from his West Rock brokerage firm. They worked together before the brokerage firm got shut down. J.C. Parrots and his little fucking charting bullshit. J.C. Parrots also got in trouble with FINRA, by the way. Fucking clowns. Folks, you got to be related. You ain't getting on TV. You're not getting promoted. If you're not one of them, you ain't going to go nowhere. You got it? They don't care about credibility. They don't care that you're the top guy or one of the top guys. They don't give a shit. It's all about promoting their own and making sure they swindle the audience. That's the media. Complete fucking mafia enterprise. So let's listen to this here.
Worth charting. This is Market Call. Carter, we appreciate you being here, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of moving parts, lots going on. So makes it fun.
Lots going on.
Boring is not fun. Movement is fun.
Yeah, well, let's take some stock really quickly here. The market's been open for an hour and a half. We all know what happened last night in the Rose Garden with tariffs. You know, I was sitting there. I was trying to parse it out a little bit. I'm sure you were too, Carter. I couldn't figure out whether it was much worse than expected or just a little worse than expected. And obviously, you know, our folks know you from Fast Money, from Market Call, and all the stuff that we've done together for years and years and years. While you are an amazing technician, I think, as Guy would say, you're up there on the Parthenon of those sorts of things. I also find your insights into markets, your insights into market sentiment, really important. So I'd love to get your sense. Let's all agree here based on the S&P being down 4.3% right now. The NASDAQ is down 5.5% right now. The VIX is at 28.6. Russell 2000 is getting murdered. The 10-year yield is flirting with that 4% sort of level. We're 4.02 right now. Crude oil is very near 66, which is a huge level to the downside, I guess, support level, that sort of thing. Given all that, Carter, and there's a whole host of other things we could throw.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? He is an amazing chartist. He's on the Parthenon. I take offense at that, you fucking parasite. Don't you ever fucking use the great works of the ancient Greek Empire, the most perfect building ever created. Don't you ever fucking take the name of my fucking people and their creations in vain, associating them with fucking frauds. Don't you ever fucking do that, you piece of fucking trash. Like Kevin Pathrath, meet Kevin, calling his company Socrates. You fucking piece of shit. Don't you fucking use my people. The greatness of my fucking people, the ancient Greeks. You pieces of fucking trash. Dragging their name through the fucking mud. You goddamn fucking swindlers. Let me show you here. The great, you heard him kiss his ass and tell you how great he is. He's one of the greats. The Parthenon. The chart master. Let me remind you guys of this piece of fucking trash. Let me remind you guys. We're going to have to watch this video. Going to have to see it. Okay? He's so great. He's so great. Right? He one of the greats. Yeah.
The situation, of course, with Macy's, which I'm accumulating, which Nordstrom, which I'm accumulating, I think, and this has been the same story now with these two stocks for quite some time, right? You go back and they last year they talk about, oh yeah, we're doing good. Nordstrom's reports good earnings, the stock pops. And I said, look, I don't think this is going to hold. Well, guess what? I think it's time to reload, and I think that we can get 18, 19, maybe 20 bucks out of both of these stocks.
More pain for Macy's, the retailer dropping more than 14% since last week. The Chartmaster thinks it may be time to take it back to the store. Carter Worth of Worth Charting joins us now with more on that and broader retail. Carter, you're saying simply sell Macy's, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what a mess. 3 identical charts of Macy's earnings coming up this week, along with obviously many retailers. So these are weekly bar charts. We're hovering right at the lows of the past 3 months. So mid-September, mid-October, here we are, mid-November, right at the 1075 plus minus 11. I think we break. So the annotations you see there, that's one of 3. Look, it's the second way to draw the lines. You can call it what you want to call it, but it has all the elements of an important reversal from obviously a year ago with prospective further downside. Final way to draw the lines, we've broken down out of these converging trend lines. Now, the COVID low is down at 443, and that's a long way from here, obviously at 1074. But there are many stocks in retail that have already taken out their COVID lows, and there's no reason we can't get a whole lot closer to them in the case of Macy's.
More pain for Macy's, the retailer dropping more than 14% since last week. The Chartmaster thinks it may be time to take it back to the store. Carter Worth of Worth Charting joins us now with more on that and broader retail. Carter, you're saying simply sell Macy's, huh?
Yeah, I mean, what a mess. 3 identical charts of Macy's earnings coming up this week, along with obviously many retailers. So these are weekly bar charts. We're hovering right at the lows of the past 3 months. So mid-September, mid-October, here we are, mid-November, right at the 1075 plus minus 11. I think we break. So the annotations you see there, that's one of 3. Look, it's the second way to draw the lines. You can call it what you want to call it, but it has all the elements of an important reversal from obviously a year ago with prospective further downside. Final way to draw the lines, we've broken down out of these converging trend lines. Now, the COVID low is down at 443, and that's a long way from here, obviously at 1074. But there are many stocks in retail that have already taken out their COVID lows, and there's no reason we can't get a whole lot closer to them in the case of Macy's.
The situation, of course, with Macy's, which I'm accumulating, I think it's time to reload, and I think that we can get 18, 19, maybe 20 bucks out of both of these stocks.
You see that, folks? Now, let's go back. Let me show you. I'll just hold it here. You can see his disclosures were from FINRA. This swindler, this guy was charged with unauthorized trading. And his firm has to pay $800,000. This is why Carter is now broadcasting on the Scam Network as a chart boy on CNBC. He got that gig because he's related to those people who run CNBC. But you can see he got basically, he's booted out of the industry. You got that $800,000, oh, you're done. You're done. That's how it works. You understand. So they're going to clean him out. the firm, and they're going to boot his ass wherever he was working. And you can see he was dealing with index options, leverage ETFs. Who the fuck is going to deal with leverage? You're a fucking broker. But look who he worked for. I mean, what are these fucking? Look at these boiler room, and of course, two of them he worked for. You can see they were expelled. They were shut down by FINRA. Later on, you see that, folks? This is who CNBC has. I'm telling you, this is who they have on there, folks. It's the same thing with YouTube. Successful people aren't on YouTube. Successful people aren't in the media. And when I say on YouTube, on the media, what I'm saying is they're not like promoting their business on YouTube. They're not like in the media regularly. It's the failures and the losers. It's fact. Okay? And you can see in the video, I point to my success, my splendid success on Macy's. Why? Obviously, I didn't know. I ran across this accidentally. I mean, if I watch CNBC, I'm sure I could have a fucking video like this every day showing my great calls and their fucking contrarian indicator calls. But I show that because I want you to know, because, look, everyone's not going to make a perfect call. People are going to make mistakes. People are going to, their calls aren't going to work out all the time. That's for everybody. But my point is that, so I wanted to show you how, okay, well, maybe he got that wrong because everyone got it wrong. No, I got it right. Right? Macy's is in the dumps. And I nailed 100% fucking turnaround gain on that stock within 3 fucking months. So how did I do that? It wasn't looking at the fucking charts. It was a fundamental analysis. I knew what was going on in the economy. I knew what was going on in Macy's, and I understood the valuation. That's why. Okay? And I knew the economy was going to break out. During that call that I made, by the way, we were still in an earnings recession. You all probably don't remember that, but the U.S., the stock market was in an earnings recession up until Q3 of 2023. The earnings recession began in Q4 2022. This is why Wall Street was bearish all of 2023. You understand? I made a call in my research to proclaim the definitive confirmation of the next bull market in June of 2023 when we were in an earnings recession. So I understood where things were going, and I understood that the retailers were going to be in better shape. That's a general call. Macy's was a valuation call. The point is that you can't look at a fucking chart and make a call like that just looking at the fucking chart. It's just complete stupidity. And you heard this guy rant and rave about Carter on the ScamTube video. He's the top charter guy. Oh, he's a Parthenon. You see, that's what they do, folks. They continuously lie about these guys and tell you that they're great and they're experts, and it's a fucking lie. This is the media. YouTube is media. And who do you think these YouTube clowns are listening to? They're listening to these fucking guys. Okay. So let's take a look at this channel to confirm my suspicions. There you go. Josh Brown, the fucking clown. I already told you guys a story on this fucking loser. Of course, he's related to all the guys, so he's in the media. Some fucking boiler room broker. He's got his own fucking spot. It's a paid slot on CNBC, and he's able to promote his fucking boiler room fucking firm, him and Barry Ritholtz, because they're related. You got it? You understand? Folks, I've got so many examples. I'm telling you, it's discrimination like you can't fucking believe, and nobody wants to talk about it. Double standard. This fucking meathead. Another one here. This fucking clown. So you got these CNBC fucking clowns. Idiots. What else we got here? This guy's such a fucking fraud. And here you go. It's not too late. Why I'm buying NVIDIA before the split. That's 10 months ago. You can take a look at the chart. It's gone nowhere. Folks, this is when you know the dumb money is getting in, right? These motherfuckers weren't talking about NVIDIA up until a year ago. Okay? A year ago. After it was already, 2.5 trillion or so market cap, and now they want to pump it. Well, that's more of a sign to get the fuck out when all the fucking dumb money is in it. Here we go. Sven Karlin, this Croatian fucking con man. Sounds like Count Dracula. Okay, so this is a guy, another guy who wants to tell you he's a value investor. He wants to tell you he's got a PhD from some fucking shit school in Croatia. Listen, I don't care if you got a PhD from an Ivy League university in economics. You don't know shit about investing. That's my experience. Okay? That's my experience. And this guy's a total clown. He's been on YouTube for a long time. I remember I called him out several years ago. And his response was, he posted, I said, like, you're clueless. You don't know what you're talking about. His response to me was, he posted a link to some stupid economic article, like I'm going to be impressed. You stupid. This is, when I say these guys don't know what they're talking about, like, you can tell they're completely disconnected from the market. They've never worked in the market. They don't understand. Like, you can find people that have worked in the stock market, that work in the stock market, that, they're every day, they're trading, they're involved, and maybe they're not even that educated. They know a lot more than these guys. You see, these guys are just know, book theory and shit. I mean, that ain't going to get you. That ain't going to get you anywhere in the market. Let's see here. So you can see, and this is a guy who also, he like goes over J.P. Morgan's guide to the markets. So he goes over their little research report that's handed out to everybody. I mean, dude, like, and he claims to have he sells you his research portal. Okay. Remember, he calls himself a value investor, right? Let's listen to this guy. 10% sale on the best stocks to buy from. Okay.
Good day, fellow investors. Our stock analysis
Look, film before crash. So, but you're supposed to tell us, you should have been worried about the crash, right? You should have been cautious, like I was. No, because you're an idiot. You don't provide research. There's no research platform. You don't do it. You're a liar. You're a fraud. And you're a loser, dude. Stop scamming people, Carl. Or I'm sorry, Sven Karlsson. Remember, folks, Karlsson, By the way, if you haven't noticed, he's also related to Tom Nash and Meet Kevin and Graham Stephan and Andre Zick and the whole clan. Contact all these motherfuckers. Okay?
playlist for 2025 has already 39 videos, and most of those have been included.
Good day, fellow investors. I want to suck your blood. I want to suck your blood.
In our value investing quadrant, but in this video we'll go through the stocks discussed, just quick takes, and then through that process make a selection of the top 10 best stocks that we have discussed this year. Just a quick note, there are plenty of bots and scammers in the comments. If you want to contact me, ask me some questions about research platform or this, just send me an email at investwithsven@gmail.com. So let's immediately start with the analysis, with the lists. Of course, the link to the playlist will also be in the description. Quarter prices of met coal were around 200, and now we are already...
Yeah, there's also a scammer on this fucking video.
Already at 175. 175, perhaps tariffs, reciprocal tariffs and things like that. Higher even costs for US producers, which means... management has been selling a third of broker. If you are looking for global investors, down was the 66%.
I mean, this guy is so fucking stupid. Look at this fucking, by the way, you can tell by this guy's a schnauzer. He's also related to the fucking scam gang, right?
Good day, fellow investors. Our stock analysis playlist for 2025 has already 39 videos. And most of those have been included in our...
What kind of it, folks, let me tell you how stupid these guys are. This guy is such an idiot. Clearly, it may have been filmed before the collapse, but there was clearly trouble in the air several days, weeks before, actually. Weeks. In fact, I actually came out on the 12th of March, 3 days after I released the March forecaster research. It actually updated the research and warned about even lower lows. I had already made some bottoms in, but I even warned that there's going to be some big trouble. Okay, what's my point? My point is that one of the stocks he's telling you is a great buy, from his value investing quadrant, is a brokerage company. In case you all don't know, when the markets go down a lot, the financials get fucking creamed a lot. Anyway, so, think about it for a second. There's been a clear shift to value for quite a long time. It's documented in my research. It's pretty obvious. Why aren't you telling people to buy the value plays like Kimberly-Clark, AT&T, Verizon, utilities, stuff like that? You stupid fucking idiot. This guy's a fucking idiot.
Value
man.
investing quadrant. But in this video, we'll go through the stocks up even more over the ratio of 25 that will increase sales by value creation.
Yes, he's as dumb as he sounds.
Times 15, which is 7 to 8% as the stocks continued to food. If there is just one
ASML, that's a value stock. ASML, you fucking stupid.
But that's at 1,200, which is
ASML,
another downturn. Great. And then
Archer Daniels Midland is not a good company in general. It's a very shady fucking company.
Well, I do.
It's very commodities based, and they're going to have
situation there.
They're already even dealing with accounting fraud. I wouldn't be messing with that company. I've never bought that company.
Also
I stay
down,
away from certain
but
companies.
the free cash flow now are already yielding above 10%. They still, but it go down in risk.
This guy's a fucking clown. Of course, he wants to get you into his little bullshit. Another fucking swindler. So look, take a look. Guide to the markets. Oh, okay. You want to show us your research? No, this is J.P. Morgan. Folks, you all saw the video where I highlighted how Wall Street missed the whole 2022 market collapse and how Wall Street missed the entry into the bull market. They were very late to the show, late to the party. They only came out in late 2024, right? Late 2024. And even some of them, JP Morgan, Morgan Stanley, were still very bearish. So do you want to follow a guy who's following Wall Street? Wall Street they're in sales, but guess what? They're not selling you their research. They're selling you their financial services, their investment services. Their research is free, and it's free for a reason. You understand what I'm saying? But this guy wants to go over it as if it's credible. Okay, yeah, well, it's credible compared to you, dude.
Good day, fellow investors. The new JPM Guide to Markets for the next quarter is out, and what a great time to have it published. As always, we'll go through what's the news and compare it with the fundamentals so that you get an idea.
Look at these idiots. I only found your videos 2 to 3 days ago, and I'm already deeply hooked. Of course you are, because you're on YouTube. You're a fucking dimwit. I love your content and your attitude. Your attitude. Oh, wow. I mean, if your attitude, that counts. That matters. The attitude. Please keep sharing your knowledge and skills. It's truly valuable. I mean, what is I mean oh, my God. Here we go. Oh, this is good. Oh, he wants to celebrate his 7-year review. This is good because he reminded me to go through and show you his oldest videos. Let's take a look here. So he's a value investor. Okay. Never worked in the street. Never worked in the market. He's basically some guy who can't get a job, just like all these people on YouTube, or they're not successful with their jobs and they want to go on YouTube. That's the bottom line, folks. So look at his oldest videos. Okay. He wants to tell you to own gold mining stocks. Does that sound like a value investor to you? Gold mining stocks? Wrong. Look at this. Gold miners. He's a gold pumper here. Nova Gold. You see that? Look at this. Miners about to explode. Harmony Gold. He's a gold pumper. What a fucking idiot. Fucking clown. And you see, he basically had no views. And, of course, the whole genre, the YouTube fake investment guru genre, kicked off. It was basically launched 2020, game changer, right? And all these guys, they were sitting around with no views, suddenly became superstars, grifting out of control.
Good day, fellow investors. We have been now 8 years on YouTube and 7 years with my research.
Sven Carlin Research Platform. No, dude, you don't have a research platform. You're just a fucking grifter. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a fucking child. You're a fucking clown. And you're as dumb as you sound, apparently. And you sound pretty fucking stupid.
Research platform. I thank you all for more than $250,000.
Okay, look at this. How to get rich for sure. Value investing. What a fucking scammer. Folks, anyone who tells you how to get rich, like I can't relate to these people. I've never mentioned that in my life. That's clearly a 100% con artist, fraudster pitch. How to get rich. And then for sure, if you all don't know this, you're dumb. You're fucking stupid as fuck. Anybody that makes anything that's saying how to get rich, they're a fraud. Write that the fuck down. That is a fact. And if you don't understand that, then you're fucked the rest of your life. It's just obvious. My point is, it's pretty easy to spot somebody if they're putting down these titles. How to get rich for sure. Okay? Obviously, the guy's a scam artist. Here we go. So I saw this pop up here. Look at these ads. I mean, look at these ads. I mean, I don't know what this ad is, but clearly you can look at this guy and you know it's a fucking scam. Right? Let's see this. Muscle booster. Oh, I'm wondering, is it Tim Ferriss selling some bullshit through Tim Ferriss?
Over 50 and want to get in shape by May 1st? Start April 7th with 7-minute chair workouts. It's just 7 minutes a day, easy to follow, and requires no equipment.
Contrary to...
So I saw this, and now you can look at this guy, the hippie look, and you know he's one of them. It's pretty obvious. George Gammon is related to the guy. Okay. Apparently George Gammon is hiding out in Colombia. Big fucking loser that he is. And so you got George Gammon on this, And clearly, this channel is a scam channel. That's why I pulled up the channel. We're going to take a look. It's obvious that I mean, look at the name, Eurodollar University. It tells me the guy's a scammer. Okay, George Gammon on there. He's a scammer. So think about it. He's going to interview George Gammon about interest rates and the tariffs and market. George Gammon's a failed real estate agent. What the fuck does he know? Okay, let's take a look at his channel and see here. Eurodollar University, Monetary Science Reborn, rediscovering the principles of currency, putting central banks where they belong. Fucking shit. You can just read the top. I mean, I would say the guy's is a gold pumper. These guys all hang together. You see this horse shit, right? So let's see here. Let me go back to that video. Ah, son of a bitch. Let's go back and see if there's any gold ads or anything like that. Oh, there you go. Look. Monetary metals. You see that? Folks, I mean, it's so obvious, right? Let's pump the gold narrative. You know, the gold narrative. Paper money's worthless. It's all going to go to zero. Buy gold. The earth is going to end. Buy gold. You know, right? So of course you're going to have George Gammon on there, the fucking crypto gold pumping scam artist. Yep. Take a look here now. So this is do you know Democracy Now? Democracy Now. Another platform that's banned me. They don't want to ever interview me. They've been around for 15, 20 years. They want to interview on the financial crisis. They'll interview Peter Schiff, but they won't interview me. Let's take a look. I'll prove it to you here. Think about it. They interview the fucking con artist, broken clock Peter Schiff. I mean, they hold themselves out as, you know, just like Real News. You know, the Real News is called on YouTube. Real News, like, oh, we're different than mainstream media. We tell you the truth. Real News is another one of these. Folks, all the media, they're all related. You know that. The same people run them. I'll show you. I'll prove it to you here. I personally spoke to this fucking cocksucker. Okay, because the fucking guy was so stupid, he posted his fucking cell phone number on his website. And
hey, this is Maximilian Alvarez, editor-in-chief of the Real News Network. We're going global.
But
bringing on...
What? I don't have the right last name. Okay? I'm telling you, folks, we're talking discrimination from these fucking people. They're goddamn fucking crooks. There you go. See that? They're interviewing. So how is it real news when they're interviewing a guy that didn't predict the financial crisis? You understand? Look at that. You see that? Okay. How about Democracy Now? Let's see. I don't know if they had him on here, but I would say since Peter Schiff is related to the people that run this, I would say he's on here at some point. There you go. Oh no, this is like Peter. Let's see, Peter Schiff. I don't know. But anyway, so let's take a look here. This video, this is Richard Wolff. I've exposed Richard Wolff before. Okay. Of course, Sam Seder. Folks, you understand? Sam Seder is one of them. You contact Sam Seder. You contact this motherfucker. And you tell him about me and say, well, you had Peter. Why don't you have this guy on? You understand? And you tell him why he won't have. Because these guys all discriminate. If you're not one of them, you're not allowed. Okay? You're not a fucking loud. Let's go, Sam. See, sometimes Sam will have, and it's all these guys. This what's his name? This then all that little group, that fucking guy, what's his name, Kolowski or whatever, Kyle or whatever. You know, some of these guys, they'll have someone on like, you're saying this. They wouldn't have me on because they're afraid of me because I'm too fucking smart for them. Okay? You got it? And I don't pull no fucking punches. You tell them who the fuck I am. Okay? Ask them if they're too afraid to hear what I have to say about the fucking mob and about how everybody in the fucking media is related to them and how they don't want to let anybody in there to have any say in the public discourse. That's what it's all about. Okay? You ask all these motherfuckers. Come on, go ahead. Do it. Go ahead. Do it. They're all... That's why I don't even want to fucking deal with it. I know the whole goddamn way. I know the whole song and dance. I know how everything works. And they can all suck my big, hard, Greek fucking dick. All of them. All you motherfuckers. You fraudster, pieces of shit, demonic, satanic fraudsters. Go fuck yourselves. Joe Rogan, go fuck yourself. Suck my big dick, you little fucking twerp. You pussy-ass bitch. Con man. Selling nutritional supplement scams. Lex Friedman, you fucking sissy soy boy. Beta bitch. Insecure. Airhead. Academic fraudster. Who's a complicit motherfucker who should stand trial, criminal and civil trial, along with Elon Musk, for your role in the homicides of the people who bought Teslas with their bullshit full self-driving scam. All these motherfuckers. None of them, folks. None of them. Okay? None of them. Anybody. Go to Alex Jones, you tell him, Alex Jones knows who I am. He left a fucking voicemail on my phone after I threatened to sue him for copyright infringement. All panicky and shit. Oh, no, I didn't ban you. I moved it from my office and I lost your contact. I told you guys the story. After he was supposed to have me on his show before I didn't know the guy really. I didn't realize what a fucking scammer he was. I was just desperate to get my message out before the financial crisis. And he was, I'm trying to finish the whole book. Yeah, he finished the whole book towards the end where I basically said, don't buy physical gold. Because there's no exit. You know, people don't typically have an exit strategy. Okay? And you're paying high commissions. You want to pay the gold ETFs. See? That went against him and Ted Anderson, his fucking boss, who ran Midas Resources. That went against their whole fucking business model. You see? He never fucking had me on there. But he didn't mind stealing my articles and putting them on his website and not putting my name on there. Just stealing his articles and tagging my articles with his fucking penis potions and all his fucking bullshit. What a piece of shit. I know the song and dance on all these motherfuckers. It should be obvious by now, folks. Okay? I'm in the fucking mix. I know the deal better than anybody. Because you know what? When I fucking do something, when I'm committed to do something, I'm the fucking best. I'm the fucking best. I know that about myself from a long time ago. Whether it was in fucking athletics or music or whatever. So let's listen to this piece of shit. This old fucking hag who wants to tell you it's a democracy channel. This is kind of, you got your progressive liberal motherfuckers on here, by the way. So think about this for a second. Democracy Now! Okay? They're going to have Richard Wolff on here. I've exposed this clown before. He's a fucking clown. Okay? He wants to tell you, he wants to tell you certain bits of information that he wants to tell you to sway you into believing his China superpower great country bullshit. He's a paid fucking CCP shill. No doubt about it. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And the more I listen to him, I'm wondering, like, this guy's a fucking moron. He's a complete clown. I'd love to go up against this guy. Live, neutral platform. Any of these motherfuckers. Any of them. And all of them. But they're never going to show up. You know why? Because they're pussies and frauds. All of them. Pussies and frauds. So, here you have it. Democracy Now! And you got Richard Wolff, because he's related to the media fraudsters. So he gets promoted. Even though, remember, Democracy Now!, he's a proud Marxist. He's a Marxist economist. You all know this, right? He's a self-admitted Marxist economist. He loves Marxism. That's his expertise, as he claims. Okay? Why would a channel called Democracy Now! Promote a Marxist? Right? Well, once again, folks, I told you how it works. If you got the right fucking last name, you get some slack. You understand? They're going to give you some slack. Okay? So you're going to listen to this Richard Wolff. I'm not going to play this guy. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Most of the shit that comes out of his mouth is either not true or it's twisted. It's distorted. He's just a complete fucking fraud. He doesn't know what he's talking about. And some of the things he says are completely fucking moronic, like mentally retarded. Okay? He's been saying the same thing for fucking 30 years, too. Oh, America's empire's gone. It's over. And he wants to talk about issues in America, most of which his talking points are cherry-picked hyperbole, if not completely untrue. Meanwhile, he wants to tell you how great China is, and he doesn't want to talk about the problems in China. I mean, see, this is the problem, folks. These guys that the media wants to claim are experts, they always make sure and insulate them from experts. Peter Schiff is never, ever put up against an expert who's going to challenge him. The media does, folks. This is when you know you're not getting objective media. Take a look at CNBC. You think Kathy Wood is not paying CNBC for all these fucking interviews? These are paid interviews. That's why she never gets challenged. And they never have anybody on there who's going to challenge her. Ever. And she's related as well, by the way. Even though she claims she's a Christian. It's all bullshit. Larry Kudlow's a Christian too, right? Yeah, okay. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. They never go up. They're never challenged. They're never scrutinized. Their horseshit ideas and claims are never fucking... You know why? Because they won't allow it. They're not going to be present for that because they know they're going to get exposed. And their whole pitch, their whole plan is to sell you their shit, to swindle you. I mean, Richard Wolff is e-begging. Oh, support my, channel and my research. He's e-beggar. Fucking e-beggar. Piece of shit. I never asked for a goddamn fucking penny. And I'm the person that should be asking for money, all that I've fucking done. I never asked for a fucking penny from nobody. And you get all these motherfuckers. Folks, they're all swindlers. Let's look at Richard Wolff here. See all this horse shit? The guy's a fraud. Richard Wolff is a fraud. It's that simple. Here we go. Patrick Boyle. So Patrick Boyle, he wants to get in. Notice all these YouTube fake investment gurus want to get in on the tariff issue. You know why? Because it's in the algorithm. It's going to get the views. So Patrick Bet, I'm sure Patrick Bet David's going to have some bullshit talking about it as well. Even this fucking idiot. Patrick Boyle wants to tell you some little fucking horse shit after he's read some articles and watched CNBC, and now he wants to explain it to the children that subscribe to his fucking channel. Okay? Let's see him in his suit. Ah, he's in a suit. Hey, Patrick, what are you doing wearing a suit in your little fucking studio?
Snap your W-2 and...
I don't want to fucking support this guy watching ads on his fucking channel. Look at ScamTube. Fuck.
Filed a calculation.
Look at that. Dude, why are you wearing a suit and tie Why? I don't understand. Why you? What's going on, dude? Right? Fucking idiot. Doesn't know what he's talking about. And then we got the plain bagel. He wants to chime in on the tariff. Notice they're all getting in on the tariff thing, right? Folks, you understand what they're doing? They're all grifters. They're all there to catch the hot topics, to get the ads, to sell the scam ads. They're all pieces of shit. And by the way, Richard Coffin, plain bagel boy, you obviously, as I mentioned in the past, you obviously don't have a fulfilling, decent job, or you wouldn't be on YouTube. This is the guy who wants to claim that he's an analyst. You're not an analyst, bitch. That's kind of fraud. And if I were in Canada, I would open an account just to sue your company for this misrepresentation. You got it? Let's take a look here. Look at this guy. You can't call yourself an analyst. You've got a CFA license or designation or whatever. You can't call yourself an analyst. That's what the CFA Institute says. You're breaking their rules, you piece of trash. So here you go. This is interesting. Look. He's a member of the Sprott community. You know the Sprott community? Eric Sprott, the fucking gold pumping con man. Yeah. That's great, Richard. You're a member of the Sprott community that stands for scamming people. So he wants to tell you about tariffs. Okay? And if you listen to this, I scrolled through this video quickly. If you listen to it, you can tell he's trying to make it sound like natural, and he's not doing a good job. Like he wants to make it sound like it's natural. He's explaining something, but clearly he's reading off a script. Okay? Piece of fucking trash. Oh, let me show you something here. Where is it? Yeah, this is funny. So listen to this.
For investors, the stock market is generally more exposed to trade wars than the U.S. economy as a whole. You see, there is this view that any sort of trade war the United States enters is going to be much more painful for the trade partner than it is for America, given that exports only represent roughly 11% of America's GDP, unlike many other trade partners like here in Canada, where U.S. exports represent a much larger percentage of gross domestic product. However, as highlighted by Canadian economist Stephane Marion, foreign sales represent 41% of S&P 500 sales, showing that just at the top line, there's a lot of exposure there. Beyond that, of course, companies are also going to see a cost impact based on where they source the products or services that they produce. And certain industries are going to be hit particularly hard. The Budget Lab, for example, has a nice breakdown of which commodities are likely to see a price effect from the April 2nd tariffs, with clothing and textiles being one of the most disproportionately affected, with apparel prices expected to rise 17%.
You hear that? So, that's great. I'll repeat that. I'll let you hear that again. Okay.
With clothing and textiles being one of the most disproportionately affected, with apparel prices expected to rise 17% as a result of the tariffs. So that's the first thing worth highlighting. The US stock market is going to have different exposures than the US economy. Markets are also forward-looking beyond just a single year, so that's a factor as well. And just generally, markets don't like uncertainty. So whenever we have a risk factor like this, which is political in nature, very going to see a cost impact.
Well, I have this lag, so I don't want to go through this because it's too hard for me to follow it. But the point is that he had to quote some Canadian economist who, he said, according to this guy, some guy I never heard of from Canada, some economist, the S&P, something like, the revenues are 40% overseas. Like, why would you have to quote some Canadian? This is like known. First of all, the data is published by S&P, and it's freely available to everyone. Second of all, this is known. Between 40 to 50% on average in general of the revenues from the Standard & Poor's 500 companies comes from overseas, outside of the U.S., and that number fluctuates depending upon the year, what's going on, so on and so forth. That's known. 40 to 50% is kind of a common fixture. He had to quote somebody on that as if the guy did the research and he knows. Like, he's so stupid he doesn't know that that's like common knowledge. That's like, this is what I'm saying, folks. This is a guy who wants to tell you he's an analyst. He doesn't even Okay. He doesn't even understand that the data. Jesus fucking Christ, man. Okay. He doesn't even understand that the data for the revenues, the percentage of revenues from the S&P 500 is openly published on the Standard & Poor's website, and it's also known by everybody who's anybody. I mean, it's just kind of one of those things that you either you know or you're a fucking idiot. Okay? Of course, I'm the only person on YouTube that I know of that was telling people about this 3 years ago. Right? And I pointed out, some of you might remember, I pointed that the S&P 500 is an international fund. You don't want to buy an international fund. It's going to perform shitty. Something like VT. Only a fucking idiot is going to recommend that. You want the S&P because approximately half of the revenues are international anyway. Okay? The advantage is you're getting the powerhouse multinational corporations with their presence overseas instead of the local shit show companies. You got it? That's why the S&P 500 has blown away the performance of, or let's say VOO has blown away performance of an international stock fund like VT. Okay? International stock fund, the time to be in that was, 20 years ago. Okay? Up through, let's say, the financial crisis. But the financial crisis was a reset. It was a gradual reset that was orchestrated by the Federal Reserve with quantitative easing. And that began to change things. And of course, as you can imagine, things have gotten progressively worse in terms of international investing over the years, right? Spearheaded by China. And that ain't going away anytime soon. You see? The time to be an international was at the turn of the century in 2000, 2001, 2002. The problem is you didn't have really many investment vehicles to be in those funds. That was when Brazil soared. That was when China soared. Of course, I recommended China back in my book throughout that period. And then the time to be out or more careful was after the financial crisis. China actually, they passed the largest stimulus package in the world. If you compare with their GDP for the financial crisis, that began their debt problems. And China has been growing on debt ever since that time, and that's even if you want to trust their bogus GDP numbers. You see, but anyway, this guy doesn't even know. He doesn't even know. He has to quote some clown economist from Canada that 40% or so of the S&P 500 revenues come from overseas. That's how stupid he is. I mean, which is really shocking. Like, okay, you have a CFA and a CFP and you just don't know that. Just tells you, folks, those little fucking designations are garbage. They're fucking useless, I'm telling you. I mean, fucking idiot. But remember, he also claims he's an analyst. How can you claim to be an analyst and you don't even know one of the most basic fucking things out there? And it's funny, by the way, when he talks about the tariff thing, I remember, let's see, in the beginning. Yeah. Let's listen to this. Let's listen to the wording. Because he says we, as if he's a fucking American. No, you're a Canadian fuckwad. Fuck the Canadians with their piss-poor attitude and booing America and all this shit. Fuck you, Canada. We're going to take our jobs back. And let's see how your economy lasts then. And grateful pieces of shit, potheads.
Hey everyone, it's Richard. You're watching The Plain Bagel. As you probably saw, this past Wednesday, we had the big day, the so-called Liberation Day as coined by Donald Trump, whereby the United States was going to announce a new slate of tariffs in response to what it believed were unfair trading practices from other countries. And if you keep any sort of tabs on the stock market, you're probably aware that for investors, it didn't go.
You hear that? We had the big day. We had the big day. It's not your day, dude. How is the Liberation Day your big day? No, we. Okay. Anyway. So, how to build your wealth. You remember I talked about this, folks. Building wealth. And so he's on this little bullshit channel, Making Money Podcast. Well, what do you think? Making Money Podcast. It's going to be horseshit. At best, it's going to be horseshit. At worst, it's going to be a scam. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's the perfect unity. It's what we want to see these days. A black man joined together with the white man. Wow. Okay, great. Just stupid horse shit. Look, let's read this. What do they say here? Your step-by-step guide to build wealth in the UK, investing, pensions, budgeting. just horse shit. Okay. Grifters. Here you go. Richard Coffin. He's on the Wealthy Barber. The Wealthy Barber. This is good. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Yeah. Here we go. Look at that. Investment analyst reacts to finance TikToks. You see that? Investment analyst. No, you're not an investment analyst. If you're an investment analyst, that is your title at work, and you perform the role of an investment analyst. You can't say, oh, well, I analyze stocks for my clients. If that's the case, every fucking stockbroker in the world is an investment analyst, and we know that's not true. Okay? If you're an investment analyst, show us your research. You're lying. You're misrepresenting who you are to get YouTube clout in order to get more views, more subs to sell ads. That makes you a scam artist, a fraud, Richard Coffin. And let's see, Richard Coffin works for Watson D. Promo Steel. Mr. Watson D. Promo Steel, guys, I say that you have a scam artist working at your firm. And I would say that he's a legal risk to your firm because he's misrepresenting himself as an analyst. You understand? Anybody out there who knows any clients of this firm, if you lose any money, you might want to contact your attorney. It's a legal risk. You can call these motherfuckers up and tell them who the fuck I am and what I said. I don't give a fuck. Okay? Watson D. Promo Steel. You guys are employing a guy who's misrepresenting who he is. He's a fucking grifter. He ain't no investment analyst. Okay? Now, notice, oh, by the way, I've got previous footage of this where I criticize. He obviously saw my video. He now puts on here he's an investment analyst. So apparently he's asked his guys if he can do that. I don't know if you saw the videos before. I showed his profile. He didn't have that on there. Okay? So he's putting that on there now to make it look legal. But guess what? You're not analyzing stocks as an analyst on a daily basis. You're not a real investment analyst. And the fact now that he's putting that on his company website, his company can be in deep fucking trouble. I can tell you that right now. Okay? His company can be in deep fucking trouble. That's a big mistake what they did. It's a huge fucking... Now, I don't know how the Canadian securities laws work. But I will tell you right now, it's an open and shut case in America. They'd be sued just like that. Boom. They're in deep fucking trouble. Okay? So clearly, this company is not to be trusted. I wouldn't trust these motherfuckers with a penny when they're allowing this fucking grifter to misrepresent who the fuck he is and what he's doing at his firm. It's a fraud. You could call these motherfuckers and tell them I said so. Let's go, bitches. Do I need to contact the Canadian regulators? Let's see what they have to say. I'm so sick of these goddamn fucking dishonest pieces of fucking shit. Dude, you're a scammer. You're a lying scumbag. I guarantee you, folks, this piece of shit watched my fucking videos. I guarantee you he watched my videos on him. Okay? Somebody showed him. Because I specifically mentioned that, and I also went on his channel and said, look, you're not an investment analyst. That's not what you do. That's not your title. He puts it on his fucking company site to make it look like he's legitimate. And the problem is that you can't just do that. You can't hand out titles. Oh, you want to be astronaut? Okay. You can't do that in the financial industry. Okay? You cannot do that. Now, once again, I don't know the Canadian laws, securities laws. You know, Canada tends to harbor a lot more scams and stuff, but I have to believe that there's a legal case to be made. If you want to file a claim with these guys, you can get a lawsuit or win through arbitration much easier if you have any type of issue, if you've underperformed the market. Why? Because this guy is claiming to be an investment analyst, and you have to prove that he's an investment analyst. Why is he an investment analyst? Is that what he does on a daily basis? Show me his research. Where is his research? Show me. Show me the evidence that he does analysis and research. No, they don't do it. You understand? It's that simple. It's that fucking simple. Okay? Another one. Here we go. This is a good one. You like this. Bad debt. So this is one. You got some lady here, Stephanie Zhu, who apparently, Stephanie Zhu, she teaches, she's a doctor who teaches doctors consumer finance, personal finance. Like, why would they need to know that? And she has this fucking clown on. Fucking bullshit. Contact her. Tell her she's a fucking clown. She's promoting some fucking clown boy. Okay? Some fucking clown. Understand, folks. If you're an investment analyst, okay, you're doing what I'm doing. You're doing research. And you've established a track record. And in fact, I could even claim that even if he was attempting to do that, he hasn't been trained. Okay? He has not been trained. If you want to be an investment analyst, you have to have some substantial training, either through working on a Wall Street firm, okay, somewhere where there's a vast array of resources, a lot of resources. He's working for a little fucking 5-man shop, okay? You're not an investment analyst. No, you're not. That's not what you're doing. And I find it shocking that the guys that run his firm are so fucking stupid and naive as to allow him to call himself that on that website. Because I can guarantee you he wasn't that designation before. I know for a fact because I did a video and I showed it, and he saw that and he got scared. And so they're scared, thinking they can cover up legally by claiming, oh well, no, that's what his title is. Oh really? Well, prove it. Somebody out there, it's a little shit show shop. They don't, if you're out there, you can sue these motherfuckers. You can sue this firm. If you're a customer, if you're a client, You can sue these guys. Normally, it would be, for negligence. There would be for, churning or unauthorized trading or poor suitability of investments. But in this case, the bar is much lower, because you can equate your losses or your missed gains based upon the perception that you're dealing with an analyst, when in fact this guy's not an analyst. It's not an analyst. Show me your research. Once again, he put that on there on this site after I came out and called his ass out last year. He did not have that on there. That's fact. In fact, you can go on Wayback Machine and fucking confirm that. If you don't believe me, I know for a fact. Okay? What a piece of fucking trash. I thought this guy was just naive before. Now he's proving he's just as bad as all the other scammers and liars out there. Folks, you're running an investment firm. You don't fuck around. Okay? And I'm telling you right now, somebody out there, if you're a Canadian, find somebody, go on some forums, some chat boards, and find customers to this fucking firm. Okay? I'm telling you right now, the bar is very low. You can sue and win. You lose any money at all, and I'm talking, I know the deal. No doubt about it. Okay. All you scammers out there, all you pieces of shit who are all related and discriminated against people who are not related to you, the guys in the media, in the financial industry, everywhere else, go fuck yourselves. Go fuck yourselves. You can't take me on. You can't fuck with me. You won't win. I can take all you motherfuckers on and win. Because I'm Greek. We're fucking heroes. We're warriors. We're fucking brilliant. You got it? That's the fucking reality. And that's why these motherfuckers are scared shitless of me. Bagel-eating motherfuckers. Go fuck yourselves. Goddamn criminal motherfuckers. Fucking had it with these pieces of shit. Had it!